Assalamualaikum, my name is Mimi Shaira. I will explain a bit about our company. Green Tech Malaysia's chargEV is the nation's largest public charging network operating over 300 charging points nationwide. We are a leading provider of electric vehicle EV charging solutions in Malaysia, with the sole purpose of giving the public the facilities to travel greater distances on clean electric power. Each car has specific plug or charging inlet. In Malaysia, we adopt the standard set upon by the IEC for alternating current AC charging stations. We identified that charging time at AC stations depend on four main things. That is charging station power level, onboard charger OBC, current battery level as known as state of charge, and size of the car battery. Nevertheless, the general charging time is 2 to 6 hours for AC EV. Therefore, we want to launch a project which replaces AC charging stations with direct current DC charging stations. The greatest benefit of DC charging stations are they generate faster charging and high power levels than AC, resulting in time saving. A DC charging station will charge EV car 10, 20 or more than 50 times quicker than a normal domestic socket AC, depending on the charging power of the DC charging stations. DC chargers use combined charging system (CCS). These are generally identified as Combo 1 or Combo 2 connectors. There are also CHAdeMO plugs developed by Japan. They are mostly used by Nissan, Mitsubishi and Toyota. Lastly is Tesla charging connector that is widely used in America.
Simple home charging can make electric car more efficient than gasoline car. More powerful home charging is sensitive to capital cost but competitive with moderate efficient internal combustion vehicles. The issue is how to develop non-home based charging points or station as home charging has limitation. Developing such station needs significant investment, supporting regulation and adequate business model, and in many places central government intervention or initiative. DC level 3 charging station reducing charging time, but they cost significantly more than a level 2 charger because of two factors: expensive equipment and the frequent need to install 480 volt of transformer. Fast charger hardware is significantly more expensive than a level 2, and in the US a transformer might cost another $10,000 to $20,000. Installing DC fast charging is in the US typically costs as much as $50,000. Inclusion of project development, designs, permits, and system upgrades can raise the total cost of $300,000 each. From this, we can see that to build direct current fast charging station will cost 1.2 ringgit Malaysia for each station. As we plan to build 30 fast charger nationwide, that will cost us around 36 million ringgit Malaysia. Fast charging station need to achieve a sufficient high utilization ratio to compensate for the high cost of installation and operation, where grid impact will be low. DC fast charging hubs should serve high usage fleets and ride-hailing vehicles, ideal along high usage corridors and commuting roads and around major cities, and rest areas for interurban trips and major highways.
Most of the charging stations are in a state like Kuala Lumpur, Selangor and Johor. For fast charging, it's only take 28 to 30 minutes to charge than a normal charger, which takes 1 to 4 hours. Current electric car can travel around 250 kilometers, so we will add the fast charging part for every 250 kilometer road on the highway. For now, our main aim is to add fast charging station at all states in Peninsular Malaysia. For this project, we estimated we will add around 30 fast charging around that will cover all the states in Peninsula Malaysia. The project will focus on the people that using an electric car for a road trip. For example, like working people who had to commute from state to another, and people who return to village mostly during the festivities.
Financing sources refer to where a corporation collect cash to finance its business activities. For chargEV, we need to choose competent sources of financing in order to make our dreams of having fast charging port like other developed countries come true. Before we choose what kind of sources, we need to identify our basis of period of this project. Needless to say, this project will be a long term as the project is immense and the project itself will take a long time to R&D. Total capital we need to build this great project is 40 million ringgit Malaysia. 10 million ringgit will be contributed by chargEV company. We believe that technology company can provide us their skilled worker in developing the fast charging station, especially in building the main factor of fast charger, which is transformer. We also hoping that this technology company can help us in giving all their resources, such as an operating system, which is important things in order to make the fast charger works properly. This will make sure that the fast charger can be one of the possibilities to make people change from driving gasoline car to electric car. Next, the second source of financing is corporate bond. We chargEV will issue the corporate bond for 15 million ringgit Malaysia. 15 million ringgit Malaysia more is needed to finance this project in order to make this fast charging station built nationwide. We choose corporate bond because it is one of the easiest way to get a ready cash to make this project run very soon. This corporate bond also help us to get huge amount of ready cash, but in the same time not giving up any ownership of this project to other parties.
The project that we conduct have a lot of benefit. As you all know, the electric car can charge by themselves at their home, but to make it full, it takes almost 8 or 9 hours per charging. Same goes to charging port that already chargEV released before. Now, we're going to improve the port charging for fast charging. The overall and fully charging will depend on the battery size used. For 75 kilowatt, could charge less than 1 hour, so it can minimize the waiting time. The charging port in Malaysia. As we all know, in Malaysia, the charging port is in limited states such as Kuala Lumpur, Selangor and Johor. For electric car user, their travel become limited. Now, we increase the charging port, especially at Petronas station around highway. It will make an advantage for out-of-state EV users. Moreover, if users of EV register chargEV as membership card, they only need to pay 240 ringgit per year and enjoy the access to our network of chargEV station nationwide. They can use the card for multiple cars and able to share it with family and friends if your chargEV card is active. Besides that, when the charging port will increase all over Malaysia, especially at stations around the highway, it will generate demand for people using electric vehicle. In Malaysia, it might not be too popular about EV, but with our petroleum resources, I think EV are the perfect alternative for future. There are a lot of ways to attract the investors to invest in chargEV. This is because the project is one of the projects that could make a good future. In addition, chargEV will be the project that can generate a lot of benefit and at the same time profit in long-term situation. Electric vehicle charging is more complex than refuel infrastructure as it may reduce the use of fossil fuel, reduce greenhouse gases and improve air quality. This project will make advantage in future as petroleum resources are decreasing year by year. Electric vehicles are the most viable method of reducing fossil fuel consumption, reducing greenhouse gases and improving air quality. chargEV is confident that we will generate a lot of profit, as this project is well worth it due to the long-term conditions. This new project will open the eyes of Malaysians that EV has many advantages. From that view, it will generate income and profit by attracting people to use our charging port. Besides that, chargEV will become a successful project by minimize the risk and the total cost. This project will make people in Malaysia travel easily and will minimize the time to travel.